I'm Cleo, and I'm here with
Clew for Stealth Magazine.
Charged up, charged up, charged up, charged up, charged up, charged up. I had a gas and rub ass, wasn't fat enough. Snakes in the grass on wood. My brother's close as blood, 10 toes inside of mud. My hips be going nuts.
Ouch. Ouch. Self-love. Go. You gotta make a decision. Sit down. Do what you gotta do.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Clew.
I wanted to know where the name Clew came from, and also kind of your whole persona of being like a lover boy. Like, where did that come from?
Well, Clew is really like just a very simplistic play on my like actual original name.
Mm-hmm.
My real name is Chris Lewis.
Gotcha.
So it's just like a mixture. It was kind of like a family name, like when we were like kind of growing up, like, but it was just between me and my brother, and so it was just like, I don't know, it kind of stuck. Well, it kind of like it didn't stick, but because I had another like stage name or whatever initially, and I was like, I don't really like that no more. Right. So I just kind of went back to where you know.
What was your other stage name?
We're not gonna get into
that.
I'm just nah, it was C Lyrics,
okay.
But that was like when I was really trying to be like an R&B singer for real.
Gotcha.
I think that was like around like the J Holiday like era, like where you know that kind of like type of name was a thing, you know. So yeah, good thing we went a different direction.
Right. And then you identifying as Loverboy, where did that come from?
First grade. Nah, it's like I think it's just always been something that I've just carried with me. Like I don't know, like I've just always been kind of like in and out of different relationships and just like very much, you know, in love all the time with different type of women or whatever. Like, and it be seem like it's like long or, you know, really drug out, like kind of a serial monogamous relationship type thing or whatever. So it just became a thing. But I don't know. I think as I like started to make music, it kind of like really stuck with me a little bit more because I started to see the content and the like, I guess, topics and stuff that I got to you know talk about and wanted to talk about. It started to kind of really be like centered around love a lot more. So it was like, okay, let me just you know make a album with you know love songs, and then I kind of just got really into the brand. I'm like a person that's kind of like really into you know certain types of artists. Like all my favorite artists really commit to their you know whatever persona, like, and you know whoever they are in that moment, you know, in their career, like The Weeknd, Kanye and stuff like that. Like you know they really commit to that character. So this is just the phase that I'm in. I'm like you know in between, like you know how long do I need to you know keep this going, or you know sometimes I just be on to the next thing, you know, and then we on to something else. So yeah.
So you're from Atlanta, right? Atlanta native, East Side, right? So can you kind of like take us there growing up? How did that shape you? Did you ever feel like you had to go against the grain coming out of the East Side, kind of be different? What was that like?
Nah, I never really felt like I had to go against the grain because that was kind of just always embedded in me anyway. Like that's kind of who I am naturally. Like I have 3 other siblings and I'm the only one like this in the whole like family. I'm just very, just always been very eccentric. Like my dad is different. He's an artist as well. But like I'm like this, and I don't know. I think the East Side is a special place because it's like so many different types of people, and you can kind of like find your like scene wherever that is, you know, growing up. And I think you know I just moved around a lot, you know, growing up, you know, coming from like Decatur to then like Tucker to then like Stone Mountain, Lithonia, and then like moving out to Gwinnett, and like so just growing up, I'm just being exposed to so many different, you know, types of people, and I just think it's a special place. Like we just have, you know, a different story than you know the West or the North. It's just like you know, and certain things you know you can only know if you grew up, you know, living in that side. So it's been fun. I love it. You know, I love where I'm from. I love you know the story that I have, but. Yeah, going against the grain is just some normal shit for me. That's just like, I like that shit anyway. I'm a very like kind of not rebellious spirit, but just like, you know, I hate doing shit that everybody else is doing. Right. So it's like I really like to
stand out.
Yeah.
So you said your dad was a musician as well, so that kind of leads me to my next question about how did the artistic journey even begin for you? I see you have a couple guitars. Did you play an instrument first? Kind of what was your background and how did you get to where you
I really was like dancing a lot first.
Really?
Like I was like heavily just like dancing, doing talent shows. I hadn't like even really tried to do like no rap or like anything. But I think it was maybe like 12. I was like 13 years old, 13, 14. My dad, he had a studio in the house already. And so we would, you know, I would just constantly always be hearing him, you know, record and stuff like that, hearing different songs. He was a gospel artist. I started to really, I don't know, just kind of just be a sponge and just like, what's this about or whatever. So I think he had like a friend of his that had like sent him a beat or something like that, and it was like in a big pack or whatever. So I was like going through his like, I was like, man, I was like, let me just try to write something. So like I wrote this song. It was called Like Me. It's very like much like.
Do you remember any of it?
I do, but here again, we ain't gonna get it. It was good, but it was like, you know, it was very much like I'm trying to be like the next teen sensation. Like I was trying to, you know, emulate Chris Brown or something. Like really trying. I think Justin Bieber had like just popped too, so it was just like, oh damn, like you know, I can do this. I'm 13, let's do this shit. Like I've really been trying to be like do this shit for a long time. So. I wrote the song, and my dad, like, he, you know, looked at it. He kind of helped me piece it together and really, you know, develop, like, melody and chord, like, song structure and stuff like that. And so then we recorded that song, and we recorded, like, 3 or 4 more. But then, like, after that, he started showing me how to run Pro Tools and, like, engineer my own sessions and stuff like that. Yeah, so I've been running my own sessions since I was 13 years old, like, and producing my own stuff, too. So it was just, like, that's really where it started. Like, the moment he... you know, put that battery in my back to just like showing me how to do it. You know, we was basically like fighting over the studio time, like in the house. Like I would wake up early and just already be down there. He like coming down thinking he about to like start recording. I'm already like in it or whatever. So, I say that's when it really started. And I think by like 13, 14, I was just doing mainly like some of my original stuff, but I was doing a lot of like not covers. Not just covers, but like I guess like remixes to other beats that were already out and shit like that. You know, that was kind of like cool, prevalent around that time, like the mixtape era too. People was like, you know, taking other songs or whatever. So I was doing that, and then around like 16, I dropped my first mixtape.
I know you kind of like you're a storyteller. I've seen like a little bit of poetry on your social media. Of course, you write songs. When you kind of first started writing, and even now. Did you always gravitate more towards songs, or did you kind of write a little bit of everything? Kind of how did you land on?
I started writing poetry like as a kid, like maybe like 10, 11. It was a teacher who we also like knew at the church we went to. She was like a poet, and she kind of inspired me to like, yeah, you should start writing a little more, just start doing it. So I would just be writing poems and stuff like that, and just be kind of. I guess like I couldn't wait to kind of like tell her or like recite the poetry to her, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I was just like, I know she'll, you know, like this or whatever, and just seeing, I guess seeing how good I could be or whatever. So I think that even kind of like started my first kind of like, it was one of my first other, I guess, forms of performing or whatever, or just like sharing my material with other people or whatever. But I started with the poetry, and then I kind of left it until like around when I started making music, and I think that I'm like trying to start getting back into it now. But I just love songs. I love music. I love melody and just chords and everything. So it's just like I don't know. Like I think I have like a hope in which I want to actually put out a poetry book, like, cause I've been like trying to get back into it or whatever, and like love poems and just stuff like that or whatever. But yeah.
So, kind of going back to the relationship between your storytelling and which definitely is very prevalent in your videos. Like, I feel like all of your videos really tell a story. When you're writing a song, do you have a story in mind first and it becomes a song, or do you kind of know you want to write a song and then you kind of develop the story to reflect that song that you wrote?
I don't know. I have a very scatterbrained writing style. Like, I really just be like, yeah, today was a good day. It is Tuesday the 21st, and I had hot wings, and my dog needs a bath today. Like, it's just like, that's how I've always wrote. Like, even when I was in school, that's why I hated, like, once you got to a certain, like, grade where you had to start, like, doing the shit, was it like the citing, like you had to like, yes, and in this paragraph, this is where it's like, no, don't, like, stop trying to, like, put, you know, like, because I'm just a creative thinker and writer or whatever. So a lot of times it's really just the whatever comes, you know, through the feeling of the music, or I don't know, like, I have a very over dramatic longing, almost like redemption style of, like, when I make music or whatever, because I think that, like, all of my favorite artists just make that style of music. Like, if I, you know, could pick up where Kanye's 808s and Heartbreak left off, like, that's where I, like, hope to where my sound, like, you know, grows to. And I believe that it's started to get there, you know what I'm saying? And just, I think that it's just a beauty in the I think that there's something that I just find, I guess, the beauty in the longing for love, or the loss of love, or having the experience of love, and then it might not be what it is anymore, but just having that memory in you is just like, man, like, remember when this was, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in love, it's hard to, like, stay on that high, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can really be there, and then it's like, kind of dies out, but in that time there was nothing else that mattered, you know what I'm saying? So I think when I'm, like, making songs, it's really just evoked through the feeling of the beat, wanting to connect with people, wanting to be that person that, you know, Frank Ocean is for me when I, like, am in my, like, you know what I'm saying, like, really making me want to, like, cry my eyes out, like, all the way out, you know, because that's the music that really stays forever. Like, all of this bubblegum shit is just like, you know, it's here, and, you know, it's cool, you know what I'm saying? It's entertaining for what we are, but it's like, when people really need something to, like, bite down on, they're not going to that shit, you know what I'm saying? They going to the shit that's really gonna help them get through that. And I'm just trying to be that for somebody else. Like, that's it.
So I want to switch gears a little bit. I want you to tell us about Godspeed Music Group, kind of the origin, what are the other artists that you work with, and kind of what's your vision?
It's really just a vision that I had that is deep rooted in, I guess it originates from my first, like, album that I put out, which was Godspeed, and it was, like, really embedded in, I guess, the thought process of just, you know, not trying to rush things, you know what I'm saying, because none of this shit is my plans, none of this shit is on my terms at all, like, it's just God. So it's like, whatever God is trying to take me to, that's the speed we at. Like, we not doing nothing faster, we not doing nothing slower, we gonna handle what we gotta handle, and everything else is, like, everything else is just, you know, it's up to him, you know. So it's nothing just, like, even deep, it's just like a way of life, and I wanted that to be kind of like a constant reminder when people hear my stuff, when people, hey, sorry, my dog is doing a lot. It's a constant reminder when people hear my stuff and feel that, you know, something that they want to be a part of, because, like, you know, no, I don't make gospel music, but, like, my spirituality and God being the spearhead, like, the person that's, like, leading all this is always gonna be through it. Like, so I feel like sometimes even through my music, that's why it might even have, like, a somewhat spiritual feel to it, because, like, that's where I'm embedded in, like, that's my, like, background for real. So it's no other artist right now, it's just me. Like, just it's also embedded in kind of the notion that maybe I probably might not get signed. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, I got to start making and building a base for myself, and then like start just running it independent. Right. So just having things set up to where it's like that's the, you know, the centerpiece, the core of where we're going, and you know, as we go along in this journey and people want to be a part, you know, we have something that even people want to be a part of. So I want to start that, you know, signing myself and just, you know, coming through with that, coming through the gates with, you know, as, you know, we get more partnerships, we get more, you know, people that want to, you know, do business with us or whatever, just having that base and like knowing that, because creative control is very important to me. So, you know, that's something that I cannot negotiate, you know, when it comes to, you know, even, you know, future, you know, endeavors and deals and stuff like that that come around. So that's just something that I know will be solid by creating that base.
Right. Do you know at what point you would just completely kind of like go after like being an independent artist? Like at what point would you just pursue that and give up on
doing it every day?
Yeah.
Doing it every day. It's like I'm not running away from either one.
Definitely.
It's like whoever's raising their hand for first, like we're there. If we, you know, if a deal comes around and they're talking about the right thing, it's like I have no problem with it because I've seen how hard it is being an independent artist. But I do know there's benefits of being an independent artist too. It's gonna be harder. It's gonna be harder, and I, you know, like I said, I've been trying to do this shit since like 14, 15, so it's like at some point there is parts of me that wants help, you know, and like, all right, let me not you know, have to focus on like how I'm gonna pay my bills and invest in my music and do it, you know, and be this and edit my video, like doing everything, you know, and because the independent artist realm, it really is what it is. Like I do damn near everything, like that has like that you see, that you hear. Like I mix, master all of my stuff, edit all my videos, like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and write all my stuff. Like which is also something that's kind of not even really that you know, you know, prevalent anymore. So yeah, and not to like you know shit on anybody that has the writers and stuff like that because it's all collaborative efforts. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that is something that I even like stand on too. It's just like you know I write my stuff. I produce a lot of my music, you know, I work with different producers, but, you know, it's me. So I'm, like, switching hats every day, like, and then trying to find ways to also promote my shit. Like, it's just, it's a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not running away from a deal, but, you know, it's got to be, you know, worth my while. It has to be something that is like, okay, I know that my life will change and the people around me's life will change. And it's going to be for the better, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where I'm at with that. It has to really be on some shit where, okay, you know, I don't mind giving this away, you know what I'm saying, my ownership, whatever, because I know what I can do with this. You know, I don't want to mess up my chance as a, you know, as a result of me, like, just trying to be, you know, noble and doing this. Like, I don't have to hate being a label just because of, like, a lot of people think about what they'll lose from a label and not what they gain from it. Like, you know, so I'm not running away from it, but I'm like just whoever, you know, raises their hand first.
So watching your videos, something that caught my interest, it was definitely First Whip and No Maybes, I think were some of the first couple ones that I watched. You had the same love interest in those videos, and then I realized that that's actually your lady. So what is working with Meraki like? What is that process like? How do y'all kind of keep each other on your toes creatively? And also, did you always know that you wanted to be with a creative, like another person that was a creative? How did that kind of happen?
No, I didn't always know. It always seemed cool, but like it was never something that I was like super after. It was just like, all right, let me just test this out, you know, but like with Rocky is a little different because I actually knew her since 14 years old. Too. So it was like, yeah, we grew up together. We were just like best friends and stuff like that. And we didn't even end up getting together till like 20 or 21 or something like that. So we had a long like time of just like friendship and building. Like all of those songs I was telling you I was doing, I was sending them to her. Like so she's heard all of this shit like since the beginning or whatever. So it's just been it's been a journey. And even her like deciding that she wanted to do, you know, music and stuff like that a little bit later on, it was like a process too, because she kind of like was in moments where she felt like, all right, I gotta kind of, you know, catch up or like get to this, you know, certain type of level or whatever. Like it was a while she didn't even want to like show me stuff because like I don't know, like it was dumb shit, like you don't want to like be embarrassed, but it's like I just, you know, I'm not, you know, nobody, so I'm just like I just want to hear, you know. So I mean it's fun, like when we are in our like in our zone, it's really really great, you know, and it's a balance in it too, you know, finding the ways to be like, you know, just because this beat isn't for me doesn't mean I don't like it, because that happens with a lot of producers anyway. Like I hear beats all the time, it's like you know, it's cool, but I don't really connect with it, and some I do, you know, so it's just like even finding that like balance or whatever, but yeah, it's been great. It's been really really fun. I'm interested in like seeing where, you know, her sound and, you know, the sound that we, you know, can create, you know, for the years to come can, you know, grow too.
Speaking of, you know, wearing a lot of hats, like I said, you do a lot of different things, and you were one of the actors in Welcome to the ATL and Christmas in the ATL. So what was that like, kind of being in those films? What did you learn about like the creative community in Atlanta? Because there were a lot of faces. If you keep up with, you know, the Atlanta creative scene, you recognize faces. So what was that like? What did you learn from other people, kind of from that experience?
I mean, it's crazy because like it was cool. A lot of those people I had already knew going in. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like maybe a few that I was like meeting on set or whatever. But it was just like really cool. I always knew I wanted to get into acting. I just feel like I have like a just kind of natural ability to just do a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was just really really fun for me. And, you know, I enjoy it because it's just almost just like another way of just performance for me, and just like, all right, it's a different medium. Like, all right, let me just try this out. Try it. I mean, with ATL, it like didn't push me too much because it was kind of like I was acting as myself, really. You know what I'm saying? So it was very easy then, but it's like, you know, I still want to pursue, you know, roles that kind of like push me to be a little bit more, like be a, you know, completely different entity sometimes or whatever. But I loved it, you know. Shout out to all the cast, shout out to Jalen. Like it was really really fun. And you know, I hope we get to, you know, do some more stuff.
Definitely, it was fun to watch. It was very nostalgic.
Yeah.
I'm so hot, lemon pepper with the peach straight. Working doubles now, I'm buzzing out the peach state. I'm a big fish, nigga, need a big tank. That's a keepsake, nigga, for what he think. Cause I done switched hats like 10 times. I ain't even blink, I don't get tired. No, I'm in the city like Matt Ryan. Spreading my wings like a falcon. Don't need no designer, they tryna decipher the drip, but this shit too astounding. I need some guap at the count, yeah. I need a big ol' amount. All damn, they be on the boy. GMG is on my shoulder.
Alright, so stop, got you some wings. Is it hot, lemon pepper, both, or?
You know, these days, I think I'm getting a little older. You know what I'm saying? So I do like the medium lemon pepper, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, I like to enjoy the wings sometimes. Like, I don't really be wanting to, you know, so, you know, I got a little medium.
Right.
You know.
So, flats or drums?
I don't care. It's chicken to me. I never been one of them, like, what cares? It all tastes the same.
I'm not going to lie, when I did eat chicken, I was a drums. Because it was easier.
Yeah. Drums are easier.
But flats, I like flats too.
If I had to choose, I think I'm gonna have to pick drums because like the same reason, like it's just easier to eat. Like with the wing, you gotta kind of like, you know, pick it apart.
Exactly.
Do all that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. So.
Favorite wing spot in Atlanta, top best wings ever.
I don't know, man. I'm really a basic nigga. I just be at the American delis a lot. I've been trying to like figure out like the best spots on the west side. I've been asking a few different people some spots I like, because I want to like really get into like the local like wing like places to see what they hitting on, you know, outside of the franchise places too, because you know those are always gonna be good. But I really want to know what some of these are. You know any?
I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
All right, we're gonna have to figure it out.
Figure it out.
We'll have to go later.
Definitely.
Get another tip.
Right. So your birthday's coming up. Do you have any birthday rituals? Anything that you like? Anything special to you that you feel like you have to do on your birthday, or it's not complete? And what are your plans for this year? Because it's kind of weird still. So what are you thinking?
I don't really have like birthday rituals. I think it's like kind of the same thing for me. Like I know my birthday usually starts off the way that it usually, like any other day starts off, with just like thanking God. You know what I'm saying? Like thanking God that I'm, you know, blessed to even just be here again and like made it to a whole nother year. You know, because you see, you know, people pass and stuff like that throughout the year, and not everybody make it to their next birthday. So it's always just a blessing for me. But I'm also just like very simplistic too when it like results to my birthday. I really just, in any type of celebrations, even like New Year's and stuff like that, I really just care about like being around people that I love, and as long as that's it, y'all helping me bring it in, making me feel good or whatever, it's cool, you know. And if, you know, we have any type of, I guess, mood or plan, but I really just want to get back into doing shows. That's like, you know, my thing. Like that's what really gets me going. If I could do a show on my birthday, that would be great. But it's just not time.
Not yet. We're almost there.
Almost.
It's coming. So we met your dog earlier, Kami. He's adorable and really big. What's your favorite thing to do with Kami?
I don't know. Normal dog shit.
Yeah.
Like,
does he like being outside more? Y'all like going to the park?
he loves being outside, but that's really just because he's kind of an attention whore.
Yeah.
He just likes, he likes to be seen. Like, he real mixy. He like, you know, it's like, he's weird. Like, you know, like, stop being, you know, all that. Like, yeah, just, I feed you. Like, I feed you. Why are you trying to put on for everybody else? Like, so that's the thing. Like, he loves being out. He loves people. But I don't know. I think it's just a presence. You know, just him being in the house is just a constant morale, like that just kind of helps me, you know, even when I'm like feeling down or whatever, just having dogs. Like, dogs are great. I love all types of dogs anyway, but he's like a special one. Like, and I named him after Takashi Murakami, the artist, but I didn't even know like Kami actually means like God, like in Japanese. And you know, I just found that out, so it made me feel good, because it's like almost like God is like always in the house. Like he has like a very kind of like crazy, I don't know, like sense. Like it's really, he's a great dog.
Yeah, he's awesome. So looking at your videos, I see you in a lot of like Tommy Hilfiger, Bathing Ape. What's your favorite brand to wear? What makes you feel like the best? What do you have the most of in your closet? All those things.
I'd have to say, if I like, Bape is probably my favorite brand, period. Like, I just always just love the design, you know, structure. If I could have more Bape, I would. Like, you know, like, but it's like always the, you know, it's the wonder in like finding the right Bape pieces, and not like just the standard, like, you know, normal shit. But like, I just really have just always loved their design, you know, scheme, and I love like Yeezy stuff too. Like, I always just anything Kanye, whatever he does, like it's just always in that. But I've also I really enjoy you know, just like designing my own stuff, and just like wearing that too, because it's just like I feel like I'm creative enough, and like I really like, you know, wearing it. It's like a pride thing that you just like, okay, yeah, I made this shit, so it's like, you know, it makes me feel better. It's like usually in conjunction with my brand or like what I'm trying to promote anyway, but it's still like wearable and stuff like that. So I just enjoy it. I really enjoy having shit that people don't have on. Like, I don't like going in places and like seeing shoes that I'm like, you have the same shoes. I have those. Like, I don't know. It's like a weird like.
Definitely.
Like,
but it's also cool. It's also cool when people tell you that you have on something that they've never seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, you know,
that's what I like live for. That's what I get out of bed
exactly.
to do. Like, you know. So I think when the creation of like the one-on-ones, it like even like betters that. Like, it's fun.
Do you thrift at all?
I used to thrift a lot, like, and then it got like became a thing, and then it was like there wasn't nothing fire in like thrift stores no more. Definitely. Like in high school, you know, that was everything, right? Back in Tumblr days and all of that shit, like 10th, 11th grade for me, that was it. So I was really thrifting for about probably like the next like 3-4 years, and then Urban Outfitters started to kind of like make thrift clothes. Right. So it was like, all right, it's not the same anymore, and like it just kind of died out. Right. So, but yeah, I still do, like I'll go to the Rag and Ramen and see like if I can find like some, you know, some treasures. I have like a lot of my like Air Forces and stuff, like especially the ones I have on now, like I got from a thrift store. They were in like perfect condition. Like sometimes I find like some nice little treasures and stuff. Yeah.
First Whip was one of my favorite videos of yours.
Thank you.
What was your first whip, and what was it like? Were you the only one with a car, like the first friend with a car? How did that kind of go?
I didn't get my first car until February of my senior year.
In high school?
Mhm.
Okay.
And it seemed like it took forever because like everybody had their cars. I used to actually walk 5 miles from school every day.
Wow, I did just about the same
Yeah,
thing.
like,
It was
because like
terrible.
I didn't want to go to the school that was in my district,
Yeah.
so I was like, my mom was like, we can take you to school, but you know, getting home is gonna be on you.
Right.
So like, I had to walk until girls started getting cars. I was
Right.
like trying to like well,
Right.
let me get a ride or something,
Right.
So it was cool. And then they started giving me rides or whatever. And then like my grandpa actually gave me his truck.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Ford F-150.
Was it the one in the video, or was it a different?
No,
Okay.
no, it actually wasn't. It was a play off of that
Right.
though.
Uh-huh.
God, I can't even imagine if that was my first car. That shit was terrible. But yeah, it was a Ford F-150 of 2006, and it actually just like died on me. Like, yeah, it had 300,000 miles on it though. Yeah,
Nice.
but so it did what it had to
Yeah,
do.
for sure.
I couldn't be mad at it.
Definitely.
But, it was
Let's see. So welcome to the ATL. One of my favorite scenes was the actual like dance battle scene. I want to know if you have a most memorable swag surf moment, like where you were at like either a concert or what have you, and everybody broke out in swag surf, because you know what that energy is like.
Yeah,
over
yeah.
Swag surf.
Well,
so what's your most memorable one?
I don't even know if I have like a most memorable swag surf moment. Because it just kind of started to become such a trendy ass thing,
Right.
like where everybody was just swag surfing. It like wasn't even the moment no more. It's like y'all do realize it's an older song, like so it's supposed to be kind of classic, but it's like
Right.
everybody started to like, hey,
Yeah.
we're swag surfing everywhere. But I think like growing up, over on the east side, there's a skating rink called All American. That we used to go to like every Saturday, where like it was a skating ring, but like after a certain time, niggas would just take their skates off and it would just turn into like a dance club,
Right.
like. And so like this was heavy in the like Crank That era,
Uh-huh.
and so all the Crank That and like futuristic era. So that was just fun, just going to the skating ring every week, and like the energy, just everybody wanting to like be out in front dancing, like
Right.
no matter where. Like shit was simpler than it was more fun, like. Where like people could just dance and just have a good time, like when like twerking became a thing,
Right.
like it was a thing to get twerked,
Right.
like yeah, like you would talk about it on Monday, like
Monday,
yeah, I got some
right.
twerk with such and such. It was
Exactly.
great, like just horny ass little kids,
Right.
like, but it's funny, like just looking back on it, that shit was just a lot of fun, and I mean that's just the beauty in Atlanta. I feel like there's so many like micro eras of just like such important music, you know what I'm saying? Where it's like these artists, they might have, maybe like no more than 5 hits, but those 5 hits that they got, you can put them on anytime and it's going, go like,
Like
you
it
know,
was, yeah, like it
right?
just came
Yeah,
out
like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit was fun. I love the futuristic. Yeah, it's a slept on one, but like
For sure.
we got to get a respect for it.
Definitely. So what do you think that you've learned or experienced being in Atlanta that you think is unique to anywhere else that you've been or know about?
What makes Atlanta special? So many things. It's like, of course, it's black, like, which I just love, which is like, you had me at black.
Absolutely.
So it's not. It's like, I just love the essence. Like, I feel at home. I feel like, a sense of community, no matter where I'm like actually, you know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you're going to have your places where it's, a little bit more gentrified, or it might be, a little bit more diverse, but it's like, no matter what, I just feel the essence of like black excellence here. And, I think Atlanta is special because it's finally starting to get the respect that we've been trying to get for almost 20 years. Because, like, a lot of people, they'll, still run that whole, New York has been running hip-hop for years, and, we still got it. But it's like, to be honest, it hasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been the South that has, like, really been, instrumental in, like, progressive music and like hip hop and stuff like that. And you gotta come here for the sauce for real. Like that's just how it is. And I think even outside of just the blackness, it's kind of what I was saying in the last point. It's so many just different types of people, so many different neighborhoods, and like at any given point, the next person like next to you can be next one up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think as far as like the underground scene is like unlike anything else because it's so many and it's so like widespread and none of us sound alike either. It's still very like different, diverse. We all are like our own, you know, artists and, you know, cultivated our sound and we're just like trying to build each other up. Especially like in the alternative scene and stuff like that. It's been really, really great. But I think say what I've learned, I don't know. I've learned so much. I don't even know like it's hard to even like pinpoint something because it's just like it's become a way of life. It's just in me, you know what I'm saying? Like even being on the outskirts of the city, it's just like the fiber of the city has just always kind of like breathed through me, you know what I'm saying? Like even like when I was on the outside, like I would, you know, be dating people that would live like on the west or, you know, like all the way. So it's like I'm having to take MARTA and go down, you know, and like just to be, you know what I'm saying? So I'm having to be in this like even in my coming of age, you know, years or whatever. So it's just like it's just a beauty and I love it here. Like I think that, you know, of course like life will, you know, force me to be other places and stuff like that and, you know, I'm not, you know, closed-minded to think that this is as good as it gets, but I think Atlanta will always be the home base for me. I just love it here.
Me too. It's a great city. My family's from Chicago, so I'm always thankful that I grew up here. Not Chicago. Not to say that Chicago's not a great place, but I know that I would have been a different person had I been, you know, raised there.
For sure.
Atlanta, so I always feel safe.
Right, yeah, like
you, especially like you said, kind of even just the black element.
Yeah, it's like,
you just feel
now
like,
anywhere outside of Atlanta, it's a little bit in question.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
You might have.
But Atlanta,
right here, you could be out. You'll be out.
Exactly. So, if you read, are you reading? Are you a reader? Do you?
I'm a terrible reader.
Terrible.
Like,
I was gonna ask you if you're reading anything.
I should be reading the Bible.
Yeah.
But not like. It's not that I'm a terrible reader. Like I'm good at reading, like when I'm doing it, but it's just like I just am like a very, very bad like attention span. So it's like unless I'm reading something that I'm like literally like in love with, it, you know, it's like it's hard for me. I'm a very like visual person, so it's like reading stuff kind of like bores me, and you know, it kind of, you know, I rather kind of listen to it or watch something or like whatever, like, but I definitely need to start getting into more books because I think that'll even just make me a better writer. You know, Tommy, who was talking about, like he told me that, like, you know, you just gotta like read, just gotta read and it just will, you know, make your writing style and just open your brain up to so much different stuff. But I can like find damn near inspiration in anything really, you know what I'm saying? It's very, very like easy for me, but I've always just been like more and more visual. But I've told myself I need to get back into books.
Just start buying books.
Yeah.
Like I forget what I was looking at, probably something on Instagram, but there's a hobby that is buying books and there's a hobby that is reading. I do both. But I just like to have books around me because I know I'm gonna get to it.
Now I like if it has an audio book and I can listen to it,
definitely.
I'll do that. Like, you know, but I just know, like, I just be getting bored. I get very bored. Like I was telling you about with my writing style, my mind just be like that all the way. I read 4 pages and now I'm thinking about what I'm about to eat. Like,
that's fair though.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite artist other than yourself? Like, but who, I think we talked a little bit about it earlier, kind of your inspirations, but do you have an all-time favorite artist and what makes them your favorite artist?
Kanye West. That's the thing, like a lot of people they talk about the old Kanye and like they live in, oh man, like I only love Kanye's old stuff, or like I loved him, you know, back with like Late Registration, but after that it's like but how can you, like, I would be very upset if like people stopped my career at Loverboy and it was like I really only fucked with this shit at Loverboy, you know, it's like you didn't like, and that's kind of the problem with consumers sometimes, is like they don't look at artists as people that change
Right.
as well. They're kind of like look at them as like celebrities and like give us what you want, like give us what we want or whatever. Like it's like, bro, that music will always be there.
Right.
You can always listen to that if you want, but like live with the artist. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Kanye's just always, even still throughout everything, he's changed the like fiber of how music is supposed to sound. Like even just what's cool, whether is what he's wearing or like who he's with or like the actions and outlandish things that he might do or whatever. It's just like he's authentically himself.
Definitely.
And that is something that I like aspire to be. I might not have the same issues or the same problems as Kanye, but like I aspire to be 100% myself someday. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we all have our fears and our like reservations about the things that we might not want to like give the world or whatever. But it's just like I just feel like he's always just been himself and transparent and just always gave us the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think anyone creatively, as far as rap goes, but damn near anywhere, like how music goes, like creatively and the things that he's done, I don't think anyone has ever topped it. Because for years he was in a class of his own. Like imagine Jay-Z or Lil Wayne or T.I., Ludacris being as creative as Kanye West was. They weren't. Like realistically, like they could rap their ass off and they were amazing artists, but no one was like Kanye as far as like what he could bring as far as music and creativity. Kendrick is probably the closest.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's why it makes me sad, because he's like not making as much or whatever. Right. But it's just like, yeah, Kanye is just that guy. And I think a lot of people give him a lot of grief for really being a human. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like with what he has going on with his bipolar disorder, it's like, think about anybody that you know that has that disorder. And all of the episodes, all of the things that they have going on within, inside themselves or whatever, all the time. Now make that person that you know Kanye West. They're not the most famous person in the world, so it's like he's still going through all of these things that, people, like, while being the most famous person on the earth. Like, but he's still going through that, so it's like, it's a certain level of, like, grace you kind of gotta, like, extend, and, you don't even have to agree with the shit, like, but for him, it's just like, at least we know he's like fighting through the like invisible walls of fear every day. Like I feel like he's trying to break things down. He used to say in interviews all the time, like, if you're a fan of Kanye West, you're a fan of yourself, because he makes self-esteem music. Like he makes music that makes me feel larger than life. You know what I'm saying? Like when he wrote Can't Tell Me Nothing, like wait till I get my money right, he was already rich. Mm-hmm. He made that for me. Like knowing, like, just wait, like you can't tell me nothing after that. Like, you know what I'm saying? He makes it for us that experience that like superhero music, and that's some shit that I always will like sing his praises, because it's like it's so many artists like that just don't get their flowers. Because if Kanye died today, everybody's like, oh my God, he was amazing. Everybody, but like right now, everybody crazy. He, Uncle Tom, all of that shit. It's just like, bro. There's so much other shit that's like Kanye really gonna have to do some wild shit for me to like cancel him. Yeah. Or like not for like, do you know what this nigga gave me? Like, he's not out here doing nothing illegal. Like I'm not about to get like, it's people that I work with that I don't, agree with their point of view, but I'm not like saying fuck you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like whatever. Like we just humans, and like I just think over this time, like a lot of people just have stopped giving space for people to just, this is my perspective, and you know what I'm saying, and that's just what it is. Like we not supposed to just all be the same and like think exactly the same, Now if it's at the expense of like being progressive and like in a racial or a society thing, then okay, no, we all need to be moving in the right direction. But it's like personal beliefs and shit, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a Christian, but like I'm not shitting on any other religion. It's like that's what you believe in. I'm glad you believe in something. Right. It's
Do you have a favorite Kanye album?
808s and Heartbreak. Yeah. 808s and Heartbreak.
That was good.
Yeah, that's like that's when everything kind of like went.
Definitely.
To the style of Kanye that I started to like. You know, Late Registration, College Dropout was like rap Kanye. I'm gonna like get these soul samples out, but like after like Graduation and 808s, kind of like real cool, like just next level shit. But like he was still him, and like everything that he does, like it's just amazing. So when I finally get a chance to meet him, you know, I know that shit'll be great. Because, yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
Have you had any songs on repeat this week? And if so, what song?
My shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been like really working on a new EP, so like I've been like replaying my songs a lot. But I kind of be listening to the same songs. Are you like that? I listen to the same songs all the time.
Like early 2000s.
Yeah.
I listened to like some like 80s, 90s with
Yeah.
my parents. I listened to OJ's earlier this week. Just
Yeah.
like in my living room, just with the TV blasting.
Yeah.
I listen to the same stuff.
I listen to the same stuff.
And over.
And it's like I'm completely content with it.
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
I'm just like,
I mean, sometimes I am one of those people. I'm just like, old music is so much better than
Yeah.
music these days. So that it just kind of keeps me. But it just also is like we were talking about nostalgia earlier.
Yeah.
Like I just like going back to certain
Yeah.
times. And just, like,
yeah.
shit was simple. And
Yeah.
just,
And that's the thing that sometimes I be like I wish like people didn't like misuse that kind of like mindset of like, oh, the music was better than, you know what I'm saying? Like the music has to have time to become a classic
right.
for you to even like feel that nostalgia. So it's like a lot of shit that's in the present.
Right.
People weren't like thinking about those songs that you love right now, like when they came out. That's like, oh, this is the epitome of music. this is when it was supposed, you know, like.
Right.
So it's like the time is in the like is the beauty in the passing of like the music and like making it great. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a lot of good stuff. Like it got like really weird. Like I feel like 2014 to maybe like 2017, it got really like weird and like very popcorn.
Definitely.
Like everything was, you know, the same. It was so many babies of so many different artists. It was just a lot, and I feel like this shit is kind of like starting to die out a bit, and like we're getting back to like quality music. You know what I'm saying? Because there's so many like new artists that I really like. And you know, I just think they're fine.
Yeah.
You know, especially like with the influx of just like new like women rappers and stuff like that. It's fine. Like I love Rico Nasty. I love Tierra Whack. I love No Name. I love Megan. You know what I'm saying? Like I even love like some of the stuff Cardi does. Like just because it was. I think it's the beauty in the women. Like now finally getting an extra or someone now it's like it's a lot of different women for them to look to. For like years it was really just Nicki, and it was like Nicki is how you rap as a woman and that's it. But it was like Nicki kind of only represents one style of woman, you know what I'm saying? Like now you have all these different women where it's like, okay, this talks to this type of girl, this type of girl, this is now, you know what I'm saying? It's like more like diverse and well-rounded now, you know?
I think there's a big enough lane for women as artists too that now we can kind of compare them to each other and stop comparing them to men.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly. And that shit is just like, it's beautiful to me because it's just like it was needed. You know what I'm saying? Like Nicki is amazing. Like never, you know, can take nothing away from that like at all. Like she set the bar, but it was like I feel like she found her lane and she stayed in that lane no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Like as much boundaries and barriers that she broke, she stayed in her lane but didn't really like give much of a extra story for I feel like people to relate to. So now, you know, you can be quirky, you can be a rager like Rico Nasty, like, you know what I'm saying, be intellectual and just make, you know, a song every 6 months like No Name and like still be fighting for like freedom and civil rights and everything. Like it's just like it's just beauty, you know. Or you can be like Meg and just, you know, be popping your shit and be on your freak shit. It's cool, like it's whatever. Like so I just think it's a lot of like quality stuff coming out, and the beauty in it is a lot of it comes out of Atlanta too. For sure. Like, and the things that are emulated too, they come from the Atlanta style.
Do you have a favorite place that you've traveled?
Denver. Yeah. Denver is amazing.
what time of year did you go? Was it like warm? Was it cold?
It was warm. It was April of 2018.
Okay.
It was just like the people in the like in the city, they were saying that like the weekend that we went, it was like the warmest that it had been.
Wow.
Like, so it was like
Yeah.
perfect weather. It was
Right.
like, it was just freezing like last week,
Right.
and like y'all got here and it's like sunshine. Like the weather hadn't gotten over like 72 the whole like I think 4 or 5 days we were there, and like I don't know, it was just cool because I like going places where you can be in locations where you're gonna see something that like you cannot see here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the mountains and
The
stuff
mountains
there,
is mesmerizing.
it's like
yeah.
unbelievable. Like it's like you don't even know what you're looking at. And like we had went to the Red Rock Mountains, and like that shit was just beautiful. But I don't know, like I feel like if I lived there and I was like there every day and I could like go to the mountain every day and like meditate and stuff like that, I feel like I would be like
Yeah.
super zen, like perfect
Right.
mode. Like
Right.
so when I get my like real budget and stuff, I think I'm gonna like go and just like stay in Denver for
Yeah.
like 6 months
It's
and just like
definitely dope.
record, like because like when you up that high, you like feel close to God for real, like because you're just close to the sky in general, like, and you know when you're driving you can see like it's so wide and everything. It's just beautiful. Like the air there seems cleaner. Of course, you know the weed's legal.
Right.
Still waiting on Atlanta to do that shit, but
Hopefully
you know,
2021.
yeah. I don't really understand what's the point anymore, but yeah, it's just like really cool.
Yeah.
You know, I have like funny jokes sometimes, like about like Denver. Like I feel like it's kind of the closest to like experiencing life as a white person.
Yeah.
It's like, no worries.
What
Like
do
here,
you want?
yeah, like here, yeah. You want some weed? Yeah, we got
Right.
dispensaries
Yeah.
nowhere. Oh, it's not technically legal to smoke on the street, but no one's gonna
Do your
bother
thing,
you. Do your
right.
thing. Yeah, we got recycle bins on every corner.
Right.
Air's clean. Come on over here. Like it's just, yeah, it's basically white privilege as a city.
Yeah, for sure. There was this one restaurant in Denver called Denver Biscuit Company.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like
It's
best
fire.
biscuit I've ever
Yeah.
had in my whole entire
I gotta
life.
go
With
back.
catfish and like an egg on it.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to go back. I think I'm gonna go back
Yeah.
this year because I was nervous to travel, of course, last year, but
For sure.
obviously this shit doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So let's go. Fuck
They're
it.
spacing people out on planes.
Yeah.
You're good.
Whatever.
You're good.
Whatever.
All right, last one for this little quick question, quick
Okay.
facts about you. What is your favorite place in Atlanta and why? If you can narrow it down, because it's a lot of cool things.
My favorite place, other than my house. Love my house.
Heard.
Love my
Same.
home.
Same.
Love
Yes.
not going anywhere. But I don't know. I really love Little 5 Points
Okay.
where we are.
Yeah.
Like it's a very like even as a kid like it was just very. It's always been like cool and hip and trendy. Everybody's around.
Eclectic.
Rocky's family has owned the Village Coffee House
Oh,
for like almost like
nice.
23 years, I
Nice.
think. Yeah, it's been there the whole time. So it's just all like I'm always coming back here
Right.
like all the time. It's like a center. Like other than just like whatever venue I'm performing at is my favorite place
Yeah.
at the time. You
Do
know
you
what I'm
have a
saying?
favorite venue?
Last year, me and Jay Newton did a show at Owl 5, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And that was like the best like show I had done so far, and it was just amazing. Like, hopefully we get back to performing because that was like a really special night. It was like a sold out show and everything. It felt like supernatural because it was like, oh man, like is it time to ascend?
Right.
Are the labels calling me
Yeah.
tomorrow? Like it was just like. And then 2020 said no, actually.
Yeah.
So,
Sit down.
yeah. Wait.
We'll be right back.
A little bit longer. I know you've been waiting very long, but
Just a little bit longer.
get a little bit longer. Yeah, you know that's the beauty in pain in Godspeed.
Right.
You know,
Right.
because he takes his time. He takes his time. He takes his precious time. I'm like, maybe I should have named it God. Maybe I should have, you know. No, yeah, like, but it's just, yeah. He just like I think sometimes God makes me wait a lot longer because He feels like I'll be able to. I'm gonna have to like carry a lot more. You know, like I just feel like that type of artist. I feel like I'm gonna have to be someone that's having a lot of responsibility and gonna be here for a lot longer too. So I don't know. He just prepared me, and I feel like just making sure I'm like right in my like headspace is right. I'm exactly who I need to be, the exact artist that I need to be presented feel close. I feel very, very close. I feel closer than I've ever been, you know, just to perfecting my sound, perfecting, you know, my image, my brand, whatever, all of that stupid shit, but like also just trying not to like overthink it too much and just be authentic. A lot of people, they don't really like care to be authentic in their music. They just kind of like go with what's popular, trendy, and then they're just like another version of the last 10 niggas, you know, like. So I think that's me, just wanting to be authentic, and just, you know, showing the world, and I know that there are people out there like me that will hear my stuff and like, you know, relate, because it's fine, it's good, like, you know. So it's just like, you know, and I hope to meet those people, and I hope to like, you know, be able to kind of like, you know, really connect with these shows. Like I love doing shows so much because it's like the passageway to like the soul, I feel, of like the listeners of the shit. Because when I put stuff out, I can like hope that people are liking it or hope that they're listening, but it's like when I go to shows, I can feel them, you know, actually really, really like connecting and hearing it. Sometimes it like freaks me out because like I'll be at shows and like I don't get any response.
Right.
But I like have asked people and I'm like what is it? Like they're just, it's almost like they're just taking it all in, because like I just feel like the type of artist I am, it's not really every day you see it. So they're just like trying to just like even just pay attention. It's almost like in a daze and a all type thing. So, you know, it's just really, really cool to know that what I'm doing isn't in vain, and like what I'm doing is out there connecting, and I hope to just, you know, reach more and more people. You know what I'm saying? To be just another person that influences the world musically in a positive way.
Now, dropped out of school, had to understand the risk. Lately I've been spitting like a nigga with a lisp. Tired of going back and forth with niggas by consent. Ew, young boy to sit, yeah, I'm up, but I'm lit. Yeah, swear to God now, GMG the squad now. I put that on God now, yeah. Everything is ours now, telling me to calm down. I can't let my guard down, cause I walk around like I'm with 10 angels. Bait in the bathroom, sending 10 angles.
I want to kind of, you know, take a step back. We're going to look at a bigger picture of you as an artist and kind of what we can expect from you this year. So first I want to take it back to Tommy DeMassimo, and he said, and I quote, "This is modern day crooning for an entirely digital and disillusioned era of listeners. It's music of the wanderer for the wanderer." So can you speak to that disillusionment that he mentions kind of our generation? Because I do think that is a big characteristic of us. And what impact do you think that us as a generation, that what do we have as an impact on the rest of the world?
I don't know. That's like one of the craziest like quotes he's ever made. Like he said some really like fire stuff to me. Like Tommy is my like if you want to know who's like heard it all, like other than Mariah, like Tommy's heard it all. Mm-hmm. Like he's like, if I make a song, I'm sending it to him like immediately. Like he's in my like, you know, core of like ears, that like trusted ears that I like, you know, will hear shit. So the stuff that's on the album is usually gone through, you know, him or whatever. So I don't know, like that was a crazy thing that he like said, because I've never really like pinpoint my overall story. I just been kind of living it. And like, so when he said, you know, the wanderer aspect is like, that's kind of like true, because I just be kind of like going through life. It's just like however, you know, it comes or whatever. And I think that's always also been just the dreamer aspect, and kind of like the redemption aspect of the music that I make, like trying to just obtain or get to this next level. Like someone that said my music sounds like I'm screaming from like the underground, like just like some, like I've been buried, but like trying to like get up. And I think that's like true. Just making music for the next person that's like might not be looking at life so literal, you know, and just going about it, you know, dreaming, trying to accomplish what it is you want to, you know, accomplish. And sometimes I feel lost too. You know, I feel lost in this world. I feel lost trying to find my place, and I know a lot of people do too. You know, so like I feel like my soundtrack is like what you hear in the background while you trying to figure this shit out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to make my music very cinematic. You know, I always like make a joke like that my genre is just over the top. That's like, it's just dramatically over the top.
Right, your videos are very censored.
Yeah.
Like, just, like you're seeing a lot of things, a lot of colors. It's a lot, like I said, the story aspect of it definitely is a lot.
Yeah, because like I think I like to depict the real emotion, like you know, like the meme that's always around, like where it has like the happy face in front of like the crying, like just that's like me a lot. Like I'm just
that's like so many of us.
Yeah, like
so
inside, like I'm just
like this is fine.
Yeah,
this is okay.
Yeah, like because I'll be cool as a fan, but like I be inside feeling certain things, and so it's like I like to depict that in my like film because it's just it goes back to kind of 808s and Heartbreak. It was just such a like passionate like album where it was like I was feeling all the emotion that he's like, you know, talking about and discussing. So it's like in me, I don't know, you could say my zodiac sign with Aries and just being passionate and all of that, like that's just in me in general to just kind of like be in your face, being like very like, you know, just expressing my true emotion all the time. It's always there. Like you can always pretty much tell how I'm feeling, like based off of my face. But, like it's just always there.
Definitely. Do you feel like, well, specifically, I felt like Dead or Alive, that really stood out to me as where your music kind of started to sound different. That was a unique song compared to what I had listened to before that. Was there anything in particular in your life that sparked that change or made you want to go in a new direction or try something new, or was it just kind of, like you said, kind of just being an artist and going through that change internally, or was it something external?
Realistically, if I could make music like Dead or Alive all the time, that's what I would do.
So did you want to start out that way then? Like, would you have started out with music like Dead or Alive?
I don't think so it's crazy because like all of my like projects have been like continuations, and like usually the outro tracks, if you like pay attention to my like before track, like whether it be on Godspeed, which is, you know, Godspeed is the title track at the end, or The Rest of Your Days where Blue Dusk is, I think every time I like kind of tap into that like thing that gives me a little bit more courage to want to even go that way, like because I did it, you know what I'm saying? So like the super kind of like screaming, yelling like on tracks and just like, you know, feeling like I'm screaming out, like singing from the mountaintops, that came from like starting, I guess, with Godspeed, like the ending of like the last maybe like 2 minutes of that, or last like maybe like 45 seconds of that song, where it's just like super like passionate, and then Blue Dust, where it's kind of like, all right, now I'm kind of like introducing this kind of like almost like rock sound. Like I like to realistically be a like emo boy band, but like a solo, like a solo emo boy band. So like all of that type of music, like I used to listen to as a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like My Chemical Romance and Paramore, and like just like different, like Fall Out Boy, all of them, like Green Day, just that era is like something, how we was even talking about the futuristic era, that's like another like layer of me that's like still there, that I be trying to like, okay, let me try to blend this and make this like, you know, Atlanta still, or like make it like me still, because it's like, you know, that stuff is what they do, but it's like that's not really my story. But I love the chord progressions, I love the storytelling aspect of just like, you know, how we were saying in the beginning, like that just longing for love, or just like, you know, the real like emotions that you go through, and the dark shadows of love. I kind of like, let's focus in on those a little bit more, like, because, you know, we can be in the blissful love all the time, but sometimes when you're in those moments where you're not in bliss, it's like it can get very, very dark, but that's like still a moment in time that like needs its own place, you know? So like Dead or Alive was kind of that like start where I was like, okay, let me just try some shit, like. But I run into a lot of like problems too, because I can do so many genres. Like I have a lot of styles, and it's really just more so like how I'm feeling today. You know, and I'm a true like artist and creative. So it's like, if you can like compare it to a painter, and he's like, all right, I painted this picture today, and this is what I painted today. This was a car today that I painted, but tomorrow I'm gonna paint a person. You know, like that's just what it is, you know. I'm not feeling this way all the time,
Right.
so it's like, all right, this genre and this thing that I can also do well, I'm gonna do this too. You know what I'm saying? Like I like to. I would like to kind of shed out the whole like idea of genre, and I think a lot of artists in Atlanta that are coming up are doing that because they can flirt with the so many different genres seamlessly, like, and it's like no one really cares, you know.
Even like listening to your music, and I think I read, like, I found a couple articles, you know, just, you know, writers who had like written, you know, that you're up and coming, and just wrote a review of one song or whatever. But I was finding it difficult to put a genre on it. And like I think somebody I read, it said alternative, and I was like, but not really, but like kind of.
I think that's like the fairest, like that's the fairest one, because it's just like it can just mean so many things. Like, yes, alternative to whatever, you know, it's talking at the time.
Like, is he a rapper? Is he a singer? Like, he's an artist, but he's a musician. Like,
I just create, bro. Like that's just what it is. Like, I can do both of them very seamlessly, you know. And so I think that's just where I live. And you know, I don't think people were prepared for, you know, Drake to be where he was when he came out, because, you know, when he came, it was like it was kind of tabooed for men to be like emotional or like really talk about their, you know, feelings. You had, you know, people that were kind of singing like Nelly or like Ja Rule, some of like 50 Cent, where it was like, you know, they're kind of like swags, very much, you know what I'm saying? And like not anybody that was really in tune with their, like, you know, emotions and being vulnerable. So now that's just the way to go. So I feel like that's also what I run into. Like, people don't really know that this is the way it go, or they don't know that this is the road that I'm on until it's just the way, you know. Like, and now we're just in it, you know. Frank Ocean did the same thing. Like, he changed what R&B is supposed to sound like.
My favorite artist.
Yeah, we can have a whole interview on Frank if you want. Like, it's like The Weeknd, he did the same thing too. It was like a certain, like, you change the way things are supposed to sound. Drake is that, you know what I'm saying? Kendrick, that. Kanye, like, those. A lot of people have a lot of like people that they look up to that are kind of still trying to figure their own stuff out. It's like all of my favorites are people that have been in the game like long time and like really made some like actual change. So I just feel like it's the inevitable that I'm gonna do the same.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what has creating taught you about yourself, and has anything surprised you on your journey and, you know, making music, being in films? What have you learned about yourself that you wouldn't have learned otherwise if you had a chose to do something else in life, maybe?
I think I'm learning every day to be more and more and more transparent. I think a lot of times I used to be like very nervous to like give myself, because it's very hard to speak on relationships without making people feel something, because they know who they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, and I'm always kind of been somewhat of like a people pleaser, so I'm like, all right, let me try to like dance around this to try to like maybe not make you feel a way, but it's like it's the rawness and the actual realness of it that like makes people like, wait, what do you say? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you like? I really like Brent Fayez for that like very reason, because it's like the shit he be saying is just like, wait, huh? You said what? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just real. It like you can feel his actual like demeanor, you know, through it. And I think that's like something I really focus on. My friend Willis the Lion, he's another artist. He does that like extremely well, where it's just like, all right, here's the about me, and here it is on Front Street. Like, this is what it is. Like I still have somewhat of a small filter that I'm like still trying to like break through. You know what I'm saying? But like some artists that just like, this is me, and this is what's going on. You can feel how you feel about it, but at least you feel something. And that's what I think. That's what I think I'm learning more, and through the creative process of just like what works. I'm like starting to become such a like more skilled writer and just more intentional writer. But I've always been that way, like not even in like a cocky or arrogant way. Like, I really have been very good at making music a long time. So it's just like, for me to even be as good as I think I am, but still know that I can be better is like something that is still always like in the back of my brain.
Right.
Like I'm always constantly on myself like, nigga, you're not writing enough.
Right.
You're not doing nothing.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not trying. Like, you don't
Right.
really want this. Like, I've always been the like thriving motivator, like putting the batteries back in my back after I take them out.
Right.
Like, it just like putting them back in, like, no, keep going, and like just wanting to be better for me, for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I know the potential that I have, and I know if it's done the right way and I continue in the route that I, feel like I should be going, I think it's gonna pan out well. I think it's gonna pan out very well.
So what's on the horizon for you this year? Kind of what can you expect? I know you mentioned an EP. How far away is that? What are you doing this year? And how have you had to recalibrate, just because of quarantine and things just not being the same and life being completely different? How are you handling that?
Handling it terribly. Not doing well.
Yeah.
It's cool. I think I'm in a way better space now, because it's like, Atlanta been open since June, so it's like we kind of have a different experience than everybody else. Where it's just like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We know it's around, but you just gonna see, like, But like, I think, I don't know, based off of how I'm feeling right now, the EP can be as early as 2 weeks, or I like to put like deadlines on myself. So let's say as late as the end of next month.
Okay.
I mean, the middle of next month.
Gotcha.
So like very, very soon, because I've been like trying not to do too much. Like, I just want to like give people some like what I've been working on.
Right.
Like, I would like used to do that shit all the time. I'm a hold on music until I like have like a super fire album.
Right.
Like Loverboy was about a year and a half, almost 2 years, based on like music. And it was like when I got to drop it, I was kind of like already out of that phase of my life. And I'm kind of like trying to want to just stay present in where I am.
Right.
So it's just like I can grow with the music, I can release it, and I can just continue to make more. Because I feel like that's sometimes that keeps me in a block, like a mental like writer's block, because I haven't got out what I wanted to say.
Right.
But it's like, nigga, just put it out there.
Right.
Like, but everybody just wants, like creatives, they just shoot themselves in the foot, because it's like it's such a need or desire to be like wanted or like liked by everything, or by everyone, but I had to just even kind of get out of that stage where I'm like, my music isn't going to be for everyone.
Right.
And that's still 100% okay.
Absolutely.
Like, it doesn't have to be for them, because if I'm thinking about myself, it's like, I don't listen to one artist and just like, go to the ground. Well, Kanye, I listen to a lot. Yeah, it's pretty much kind of sick. No, it's like, but no, it's like, it's like, even if I wasn't me, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking at artists like, okay, you got, like, you have a lot of good music and I like it, but it's like, no one stays like there, and it's like we think that everybody is supposed to be that way or want everybody to be that, but that's just like the instant gratification social media shit that we're in, but I just had to get out of that and just like enjoy what I'm doing.
Definitely.
And just hopefully people will enjoy it too.
Definitely. Well, I think that's all that I have for you. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything else you want to tell the people?
Wash your hands.
Yes, wash them hands.
Wash your hands. Keep
that hand sanitizer on you.
It's on you. It's
that.
still out. It's still out.
It's still out.
And lead with love. Continue to follow me. Thank you for all the support that y'all have given me thus far. We have a lot of like great stuff coming this way. New visuals, new music, new shoots, new ventures, new money, new blessings.
Yes.
And thank you for having this
Absolutely.
time with me.
Yes, thank you for being here. Appreciate you.